Hello, everyone. My guests today, Ashley Twynam, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and David Echevarria, mechanical engineer by trade, the both co-owners of Earthy Living, to Human Reset Center. Okay, hello, David. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Okay, very good. So tell me, what is Earthy Living? Why do you call it Human Reset Center?
Sure. Yeah. So Earthly Living did first start out as like just physical therapy, but interacting with patients and clients and just our friends and family, we learned that there's so much more than just like having a physical ailment, and we wanted to create a way to help others kind of access their full potential in any area that they need in their life. So we do focus on the human body. So any kind of pains, limitations, any restrictions, we use physical therapy and a few other treatments to help people heal that way. But then there's so much more to healing and just limitations that people might experience. So that's where we brought in the mental health component. So we do mentality coaching, and also just, I think people these days like are looking to discover themselves and like have more fun in their life and not be stuck so in the like 9 to 5 work, go home, clean, eat, and go to sleep. So we just wanted to create a place where people can just access anything that they need to, live a fun, purposeful life. And so
hit reset.
Yeah, and hit reset. Yeah.
So the way you come in is not the way you leave. Anything can be changed. It doesn't matter where you are in your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, wherever you are, it can change. And so we want to help you hit reset and start fresh, blank slate, and just create the life that you love rather than the life that you thought you had to live.
Interesting. It's a really interesting concept. So when did your clinic open? How long ago?
2016.
Yeah.
It's the first time. Back then, though, it was just on weekends, and
yeah, it was really just like a few
days.
people here and there. I rented a really small space, and I was
we were still working full time.
Yeah, we were working full time up until last March. That's when we made the switch, and it was kind of like testing the waters to see how I felt about doing my own thing, and it really turned into something that I wanted to move forward in, and like Dave came on board, and it's been really great since then.
So yes, very common dilemma among physical therapists, occupational therapists, or other medical professionals. Do I go all in, or do I start part-time first? How do I terminate my job? How I'm going to pay bills? So it seems like it took you 3 years before you went full-time, right? All in.
Yeah. I was really happy I did that, to be honest, because, I was a new grad, and I worked for Atlantic Health System. I was in their outpatient clinic in Morristown, and I really valued how much I learned from my colleagues. Their experience, I think, helped me like excel my manual skills, especially. And also I learned like some really cool like exercise techniques and stuff. And I felt if I like just did that like straight from school, I think there would be just a level of expertise that I wouldn't be able to bring forward with me. Yeah, so I was really happy I did that.
So let me ask you, your original clinic wasn't where it's at right now, right? Where is your clinic located?
North Arlington, New Jersey.
And where was it originally?
So I was renting from Fairfield, New Jersey. Yeah. It was just a small little room, so pretty much just like hands-on manual therapy, just a few people on the weekend.
Yeah. And David, when did you join? At what point?
We're a couple, we're engaged. So I was helping pretty much the whole time. It was just kind of part of my job as her boyfriend back then.
He was definitely the business person. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, go to LegalZoom. I'm like, okay, I'll start there.
Yeah, I was, I'm an engineer, but I was never really into engineering fully. Like business stole my heart. And so I was, starting businesses and such. So I was always helping Ash in the beginning. And it was 2018 that we realized like, I've been starting all these businesses with products that I was not passionate about, to, just be blunt. And, Ash has a great product, if you will, right? That she was getting steady business just through word of mouth. And I'm like, man, we can grow this And like, she hates all the business stuff. She hates the social media. She hates
I just want to make you feel
marketing,
better.
all that stuff.
I get a little weighed
You just
down.
want to be a physical therapist.
Exactly.
And David will
Exactly.
let David
Meanwhile, I
Very
love that
nice.
stuff. So, you know, we decided to partner up, and that was
Nice. That's interesting. That's very interesting. David, so biomedical technology concentration, did it help you in any way with running the clinic, or what kind of products did you work on before?
Right.
Is there anything related to health and wellness at all?
Yeah, yes. I mean, so in school, you know, I was working on a product. I designed a tool that helps with knee replacement surgeries. You know, so
actually Stryker.
Yeah, I was working with Stryker Orthopedics actually.
Wow.
So you know, they sponsored my project, and we developed a tool for them. And then when I graduated,
sorry, what was the purpose of the tool?
Knee replacement surgeries. So when someone has an existing
right, but like you're working on the product, like the implant itself, or
so in removing the implant, there was a part that it was a plastic part with a pin in it, and they had a lot of trouble taking it out. And their current practice, I don't know if they want me to say this or not, that they would use pretty much like a hammer and a chisel to get this piece out of your knee. You know, so what I designed was a tool that actually allowed you to remove that piece without having to resort to those measures. Yeah, so that's what I was working on with them. And yeah, but you know, you know, a lot of my classes were biomechanics and such, and I was an athlete growing up. I was always into health and fitness, and you know, my first business was in the fitness industry, and so this just kind of tied right into it.
That's a good match. Seems like perfect. All right, so I had a question: how many partners you have? So I'm assuming it's both of you guys, right? So you have no other partners involved. Okay. So specialty, would you say you have a specialty, or you serve, you know, just all types of people with different physical therapy needs and wellness type of needs, right?
Yeah, so I'd say our main client is like 25 to 45-year-old athlete. Right now we are currently within a gym. So we do have access to the full space, and you know, right now the gym.
So tell me about this. So actually I was interviewing someone that was a similar concept. So you're subleasing space inside the gym. Is that correct? Yes. Very nice. Okay. And do you have the private room areas as well? You have certain, like, how many rooms do you have for like?
So I just have one private room. So I do like the initial evaluation there, or like any treatments that people might want more privacy for. But for the most part, in terms of treating, I have another table set up within the gym. It's a really big space. Yeah, I think it's like 5,000 square feet. It's really big. So,
sorry, what is the name of the gym?
Break the Mold.
Break the Mold.
It's a standalone gym. It's not a franchise, right? It's
correct. Yeah. So yeah, I treat people out there. So, you know, we're very fortunate. The owner, he's a great guy, and we're able to, you know, utilize the equipment, and the space is. I find the space very motivating. It's like it's intense, but like makes you want to work hard. And what's really awesome. So this is like a new collaborative that we just recently came into. It was we were supposed to open right before COVID happened.
like March 1st.
Yeah, so it was bad timing in that sense, but it ended up being like a blessing, because us, the gym owner, and there's two other people who are involved. There is a nutritionist and a DO. So we all have our own businesses, but we're all under this one roof. So we're really creating the systems to work together, and whatever the person needs, like we have, like, hey, we have a go-to person, how to help you out there. And like, there's so much collaboration happening there. This has been one of my dreams, to like be able to just, hey, you need this, like, we know this person, like, you don't even have to go anywhere. Like, we're all in-house for you. So it's been really, really exciting. And, you know, right now the gym's only able to do like outside trainings and very limited, but we've been getting so many people from the gym, and we also get to work out with
you guys able to operate, you know, run your clinic within the
gym,
right?
Yeah.
So that's actually very helpful for the owner of the gym, I'm guessing, right? So at least
he's been grateful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And you guys you subleasing space, meaning you pay the monthly rent, right? That's the concept. Okay, very nice. And so, what was your initial investment?
Into the business, you mean?
Like into the business, yeah.
It was minimal.
It was
Honestly,
very minimal
really
because it's just been like renting the space.
Yeah.
The equipment was already there. Did you guys invest into like modalities, any like treatment tables, things like that?
Yeah, but you know, that's like a couple $100 there. You know, I'd say probably, you know, where things make it a little pricey is like continuing education. Like I have the grasping tools, you know, and that's, I mean, but that's like normal costs that you're gonna run into. Where before when I was working for the hospital, I'd get reimbursed for all that, so that was nice. But you know, now that's out of pocket. But
so we really, we started with very like, I mean, we were profitable like the first month.
So
it wasn't, especially working full time, we didn't have to pay ourselves back then.
That was the other
so it was able to grow organically.
It was kind of like able to like dip your toes in, like, oh, how does this feel? Is that good? You know, and
so
not.
Let me clarify. So you guys started in this gym right before COVID, or that was? Am I understanding it correctly?
We technically moved in during COVID. So
during COVID, and prior to that, you were renting that small room you mentioned earlier, right?
We had actually moved to Lyndhurst in between. We were there for 2 years, which is
so there was another location prior.
There was another location in between.
But still kind of the same thing. It was just a small room we were renting.
Got it.
Yeah, and then we were supposed to April 1st, like that was the goal, and then COVID, we didn't do that.
It became May 1st.
So we pushed it back a little bit, and
Nice. All right, and so you're there, guys, full time right now with COVID and everything, 5 days a week or more, less?
Yeah, so we're still kind of growing, especially right after COVID. So we are available 5 days a week. We do appointment only, you know, so it's like whatever our schedules are for the day. But pretty much we also sometimes go in on the weekends too, but we really love the people we're working with and stuff. So
the main question is, are you in network or are you out of network?
So we don't accept insurance. Yeah, so we're out of network. But honestly,
even Medicare?
No.
Okay, so you don't really have any Medicare patients because you were younger population.
That's really, you know, I know, like, I'm not like stereotyping populations, but older people weren't really who were making me like really excited. Where I came from, you know, towards the end, I got like a lot of just chronic low back pain, and the people didn't want to get better, you know, and it was discouraging. It was because it's like, you know, I want to help people. I want to like give them everything I can offer, but if the effort's not there and they don't really want to get better, it was discouraging, you know. So kind of switched directions and really like who are the people I want to be working with, you know. And not that everyone's like that. I had some really amazing patients too, but I'm like, I want to be like more inspired every day, and like I want to be challenged and like, okay, so what exactly is going on? How can I what can I do differently, you know? So
that I understand. So, and you were always out of network, right? Before the gym location, and still got it. Okay, very good. And for so you have any other employees, so your front desk or anything like that, or how does it work? So how do you guys, I'm assuming you do one-on-one treatment, right? It's you don't have multiple patients at the same time, so you check them in yourself when the patient comes in. And do you have a system? You guys use a scheduling system, documentation system of any sort, or not really?
So
for scheduling, scheduling, we use square.com.
Okay, so you process payments through Square and you schedule through payments. Okay.
It's a free scheduling tool, and it's very dynamic, and it
very nice
embeds in your website. Highly recommend it for anyone listening. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I use the G Suite for documentation.
Got it. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. In terms of marketing, you guys spend any money on marketing, or how do you do your marketing?
Very little. We dabble with it, I would say, more than anything. You know, it's a whole science on its own, right? So, you know, we dabble with things. We put some money into it every month, but for the most part, we're really word of mouth. Since the beginning, most of our clients are friends and family of people we've seen in the past. You know, so it's really how we've done it for a long time. And you know, we try some Facebook ads here and there, local not newspapers, like magazines or newsletters, things like that. But yeah, it's mostly just word of mouth.
Yeah, that's
been do you keep track of referrals, like where referrals coming from, or not really? You just kind of ask the patients and you remember. So
yeah, we do ask, but we're not like, we have it written like on their intake form. We do ask, where did you get referred from? But we don't track it as much as I would like to, maybe. But,
yeah, Dave's the one that added that to our intake form, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I can ask people that. That'd probably be smart.
She wasn't asking for emails or anything. I'm like, we should probably start doing this.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Emails. Most clinics ask for emails before the newsletters that email marketing now. But if you were to guess, would you say, majority of your referrals come from the gym or like word of mouth of other patients,
I think we're in a transition right now, to be honest. I would say previously it was definitely just word of mouth referrals. A lot of people were like, oh, you treated so-and-so, right? Now that we're in the gym and like we were part of that community, we're getting like Instagram messages like, hey, I hurt myself. Like, can I come in? So it's been, I think Instagram actually has been huge for us right now. Dave's very active on that, and people are just like, like, oh, I was just doing this one thing. Can I come in? And it's been fun because then we're like, yeah, well, the office is right down the road from us. So it's like, yeah, we can be in there. Like,
no be there in 20 minutes. No big deal, so.
Yeah, makes sense. And prior to the gym, you guys, again, it was mostly word of mouth. So another question people ask, oh, should I market to doctors? So do you guys market to doctors? Do you have doctors refer your patients, or that's not the route you guys took?
So it's not the route we took. We're gonna be working with a DO. She's really awesome. I think from her we will get a lot, and she's very much into like she loves physical therapy, and like she does running evaluations and stuff. So I think
DOs, they look at a whole body. That's versus like MDs. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Is she in the facility with you guys? Like she's actually seeing patients there as well?
So she's going to start. She hasn't quite started yet. She was just waiting to get her license in New Jersey because she was working she still works Mount Sinai. So she's there, and like she's now gonna like help out over here. So we're really excited for that collaboration. I think that we want to do like workshops for the community, like just like running evals and like what other things that we can just offer to just the communities as like a weekend workshop. I think that will also be big with bringing in clients as well.
Okay. So, and how many hours a week would you say you work? And let's break it down into clinical and, documentation and whatever else involved in business.
I'd say like clinical right now, about like 20 or so. And then documentation is probably spend like 45 minutes to an hour, like at the end of the day, like just like kind of recapping everything, and then
3 to 5 hours a week. Right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the stuff, social media, building the website, optimizing it, SEO, all that other stuff, about the same. Another like
Dave's doing all that.
You track on your web visits, how many people actually go there and click. You keep track of that. What do you use for that?
The website's built on WordPress. So WordPress has built-in statistics that just kind of show you how many people have come in, where they've come from, what they've clicked while they're on your page and everything. So it's pretty much right there when you sign in.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. You look at it like weekly, monthly, like how
I'm
often?
on there almost every day, tweaking the website, updating it. So I see it every day. Not that I'm like going out of my way to look at it, but it's there. So
the website is really nice. I actually spent some time on it. So guys, tell me, so on the website you guys have mind, body, and soul. So tell me more about these concepts and how do you address these with your patients?
Yeah. So like Ash was saying before, that there's more to health than just your physical ailments, right? And she had always told me in the past, working at Atlantic, how there were some clients that she just realized they were just so tied to the story of, I have this issue.
Yeah, like I equal pain, right? That's my identity.
Yeah. And even though she would do their assessments and there's a change, the range of motion increased and things like that, they still are tied to the story, I have this issue. And why is that, right? So they're in their mind not getting better, right? So it's in their minds that they're not getting better. And so that's what we need to address, is not their body, right? And so that's why we introduced our mentality coaching, which just change your perspective. Honestly, it's just, why is it that you have this story about yourself? What is it that's like mentally keeping you in this box that you've put yourself in, right? Or that someone else, that life has put you in, whatever. And then beyond that, we're not just tied to healing too. It's also like healing in your life and living powerfully. Exactly. So, we've helped people negotiate salaries, get new jobs, mend relationships with their significant others, with their children, things like that, right? So that's all tied into your health too, because that does affect you. You know, maybe you don't see it right away, but it definitely does. So we want to address all those aspects.
Yeah, I think just in our personal lives, we're constantly trying to grow and, you know, be the best that we can. And we're very open. We try a lot of different things for ourselves. And, you know, I think the biggest thing that like I can take away is I was just so unaware of how many thoughts, and I call them patterns, or like, like limiting patterns, like how many limiting patterns are just running nonstop. And I just have no conscious awareness of, or I used to not have any conscious awareness of. And, you know, and I think that that ties to health as well. You know, you can, you know, if you're in some sort of relationship, you know, it can be business or it can be personal, and like you don't feel like you're valuable, you don't feel like you're worthy of like who you are in that relationship, then you shut down, you know, then it's almost like you can create illness within yourself, right? Like you stop like working out or you stop eating right because you don't feel like you're deserving of that. So now all of a sudden you have like a shoulder problem, and like we can fix your shoulder, but like if every day you're telling yourself all these negative things and you're not able to like motivate yourself to like get out of that pattern because you're not even aware of it, you know, it's like, okay, I'll probably get better for a little bit. And then, you know, it wouldn't be surprising if you come back in a few months and it's like, yeah, you know, this is also bothering me too now. And people, like Dave said, like it becomes their identity. And so sometimes just like allowing people to recognize and get the awareness of like, hey, what's that thought you're having that starts this whole cascade? You know, and when people get that, it's a lot of times it's like shocking. It's like, whoa, I didn't realize I say that to myself like 24/7. And it's like, yeah, no wonder why like you don't want to do anything, or your body's hurting because you don't feel like you're deserving of feeling good and having good health and having a great relationship with your partner. Yeah, so it's been this fun discovery, honestly. And like the soul part of it, this is something new for us, but again, it's from our own personal experience, like discovery, like what motivates you in life? What gets you excited to wake up in the morning? You know, personally, like I went through a little bit of a lull last year. I was just, you know, I was like, I wasn't excited for life, honestly. And I realized that I had no idea that I didn't know what I'd like to do. I just did everything for so long and I was just going through the motions. And
it's a routine, right? People get stuck in routines a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was so unfulfilled and I'm like, something needs to change. Like, this is my life for the next, like, however many years. Like, I don't want to live this life. This feels like a prison almost, you know? So for me, what I had to do was kind of like push my edge, like do stuff I'm uncomfortable with, or I would never even try, you know? It's like, I'm like, you know, I've always been an athlete myself and I like to be physical, but then it was like, we went into the city, this was way before COVID, and there was like this like space experience, and I would never have done that before, but you know, I kind of met new friends and they were interested in it and I did it, and it was just like so much fun. It made me like think differently. I'm like, wait, these are adults creating this and this is fun. Like, I want to have fun in my life. So I think a lot of people are missing that in their life.
You're right. I mean, a lot of people are just afraid of things, and that's why they get stuck in routines. I mean, I've been in the physical therapy, occupational therapy world, right? I mean, I dealt with a lot of speech therapists and chiropractors and you name it. But especially like nursing homes and hospitals, people just so attached to their benefits. They're attached to their, I don't know, oh, I have 2 weeks vacation, but they're so miserable. They hate their jobs because it's a routine. Their boss telling them what to do, how many treatment units to bill. And it's ridiculous because you're a professional. A lot of therapists have doctorate degrees, you know, most of physical therapists these days, right? And a lot of them are miserable because, I mean, we're in skilled nursing facilities, you know, you're there for 20 years and it's not fulfilling. I mean, I just know from my personal experience, you know, I worked in those facilities and I mean, I wasn't happy, you know, because it's like the same thing over and over again. You can try different things and work with different population, right? So very interesting. So speaking of relationships, so being the fact that you guys are a couple, is how's that working out for you? Like running a business together and then, you know, just bringing it home. Is that like you have a good like dynamics?
It's amazing.
It's honestly incredible. We've definitely had like, there have been low points. There have been struggles to overcome, certainly.
Yeah. One thing, overall, like Dave and I, so we just got engaged in February this year, and before that, for like the thank you for like the past 3 years of us being together, I just called him my partner. I didn't call him my boyfriend. I'm like, you're so much more than my boyfriend. You're my partner. You're my partner in business. You're my partner in life.
Sure.
And you know, I think we're able to have such a strong relationship and be able to put on so many different hats and roles because we both have a commitment to like personal growth, and we have these conversations where it's like, where are you coming from right now? Like, what's your intention with what you're saying? Right. And then it's like, darn, you're right. Like, that's ego talking. That's just, you know, like me trying to make you feel bad because I feel bad about something. So we're very honest in our communication. Right. And then like, once we like, because we've both done so many courses, we're like, okay, so no, like, what do we actually stand for? And it's like, you know, we want to have good communication. We want to empower each other. We want to create a lot, you know, we're constantly creating things, and so it's fun, honestly. I think
we literally spend about 22 hours a day together, and those 2 hours we don't are when we're like working out or something, you know. It's it's a lot, but I mean,
you guys don't work out together?
We used to, but
we go through phases.
We have different workout styles, if you will.
Yeah, so Dave likes to go really slow and like play around, and
I have fun in the gym. Yeah, I'm bouncing on yoga balls and throwing.
I'll call him like 2 hours later. I'm like, "Are you gonna eat dinner anytime soon, or should I just eat without you?"
Nice.
Ash is into like Pilates and like cardio.
I like to like hit too as well, so I like to be like workouts. High intensity. So we're a little opposite right now, but we do.
Got it.
We do occasionally work out together.
Yeah, you need space as well. It makes sense. So, speaking of working out and services that you offer within the gym, so are there certain things you're not allowed to offer to your clients, patients, because kind of, you know, conflict of interest from the gym perspective, like personal training for your patients?
Actually, no. I thought that would be an issue too, but talking with the gym owner, he's like, so when are you going to start doing personal training? I'm like, oh, you're okay with that, you know? And there's a contract between him and us that, you know, he gets a percentage of what we bring.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay. So he does.
Okay, yeah. Very good. Yeah. Very nice.
Actually, he's like, whatever you can do to help our athletes, it's a yes, right?
Great. No, that's a great type of arrangement, I would say. And on average, Ashley, how long do you spend with a patient? Like, what's your typical treatment session like?
So standard is 45 minutes. I do get a little like into what we're doing. So usually I'm just about an hour.
Sometimes I have to knock on the door and be like, hey, they gotta leave.
Yeah, like especially if I don't have anyone after them, and like we're like just really like getting into it, and I'm like, hey, let's try this. So yeah,
she really loves
I think that's the benefit of being out of network, right? Not accepting insurance.
Yeah.
One-on-one, you could actually enjoy the treatment and try different things versus when you have to see a couple of patients at a time, right? So you kind of, you know, you have to spread yourself, you know, short, and it's a little
it takes away from the client at the end of the day, right? Like, we're there for them, and we want to give them our full attention, our full devotion.
Sure.
You know.
Do you guys have to turn a lot of patients away? They call you and ask you if you accept insurance, or not really?
So people do ask that. I don't think it's a lot. I'd say, you know, maybe for like, I don't know, every 10 calls, maybe one person will not come because of insurance, you know, but
I thought it's less than 10%, right?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a big issue. But like deep down, I'm like, I don't want to deal with insurance. Like, I think insurance has a place, but I don't think the system is set up very well. And I felt that it would seriously take away from my ability to treat the person in front of me. And most people have been really receptive. You know, I write them a receipt so they can submit it to their insurance for reimbursement. And, you know, they haven't had any problems with that. And
sorry, so you give them a super bill for the insurance?
Yeah. And not even everyone asks for that, actually. There's a lot of people who don't.
Right, I don't care. And what do you use for that? How do you provide those receipts to your clients?
So like I did like my research and like what needs to be included in it and all, and so like I made up like my own template, and I put all the information on it, and you know, I always tell them like, if you have any trouble with insurance, just let me know. But I mean, it's worked out fine so far. I've never had a problem.
Okay, makes sense. Very nice. So guys, what is would you say the biggest expense for your business? Is it rent?
Probably. Ran, the little money we put into advertising, a few $100 every month. Honestly, I'd say like education.
Yeah,
like, continuing eds and other things.
So actually, it's one of my questions here. So what's your favorite continuing education courses or resources that you utilize?
So, I mean, I really love like the in-person courses. So I took like the rock tape continuing ed course, and that was really fun for me. I like courses when you go in and like you do the application and then like, like you're seeing change before and after. So I personally like to do those. So right now I'm a little bit sad with COVID because I have to like do some continuing ed. I'm like, oh man, it has to be like online more. Yeah. But I just, honestly, I like follow certain people on Instagram, and I like people who are starting like, think differently, and they're like, they're not so much looking at like the person has this problem and this is the solution. It like the more like creative, like the people who are like more into the discovery of like, I started to look at, I don't know if you've heard of Stop Chasing Pain, that Instagram account. He does a lot with like lymphatic systems and stuff. And
I haven't actually, but I'll check it out.
Yeah. His name's Dr. Perry, I believe. And, it's just, it gets you thinking a little differently. I tend to like the stuff that's not so textbook and more like
more unique
experience and just like, okay, so this is what we know about the, the standard systems and like what new things are we learning about them too. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. All right. So you guys, do you run any reports monthly? For the clinic, I don't know, like referral report, cancellation rate, for instance, is a big one among many clinics. Is that something you guys utilize as a report? You look how many people cancel or anything at all?
Not really, to be honest with
We're
you.
not the best business people in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, but we don't really have a cancellation issue though, if you will. Like, I mean, not many people cancel. It's not enough to even start tracking.
I see.
Yeah, like we don't have any cancellation like fees
policy
or anything like that. Most people, if something does come up, it's, I think because it's also just us two, like the person really gets to know us and they're like, yeah, I can't come today. Like my son is sick. Like, what do you have later on in the week? So
okay.
It's more reschedule if anything.
Yeah.
So you guys are very flexible. You're very like personable. So
we kind of have to be right now too, obviously, right? So
okay.
But we're always willing to do what we can to appeal to whoever needs.
So when it comes to marketing, you guys set up budget for it? Is it a certain percentage of revenue, or you just, regardless what revenue is, you just have that, allocate a certain budget and that's it?
It's not a certain percentage. It's not a certain budget. It's more just, we go through our budget each month and if we have a little bit here and we see an opportunity of like, hey, maybe we should invest in this, see if it works. We'll look it up. If it's affordable, we'll put the money in. It's not really an exact science right now. Looking to get into that more, but
yeah, that's definitely like to like learn more and be more effective at it is definitely on our to-do list.
Right now I'm working on building like those funnels on the back end that kind of,
like the email
marketing, the website, how did the client interaction start from the beginning to the end.
Right, you're collecting patient data now, right? You're getting the email addresses, right? And is there a tool you guys use for that to keep that, or not really?
So the emails come through Square, and then we upload them to MailChimp, which is what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's been great.
Okay.
So,
is it monthly? You kind of do like a newsletter or some kind of email?
I try to email them at least once a month. And then, we did a camp for kids recently that I put together, and it was like a mentality camp for kids. So it taught them things like commitment and such, while also fitness. And so like, announcements, things like that we'll put out as they come. And then I just try to interact with them as much as I can, at least once a month. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes sense. All right. So what is the long-term goal for Earthy Living?
Yeah, growth, right?
Definitely growth. We've been talking about this, like, we would like to get to a point where like maybe we can hire a physical therapist to be like the main person, and because I like to kind of dabble in a bunch of different things and you really create. So I think if we can maybe like hire some people who are like the set people for certain things, then we can kind of grow and see, you know, what more this can transform into. We are, one of our goals is to do more online as well. So that's where more of the coaching comes in, and like the self-discovery, like we're going to have that online. Yeah, so
it's really just, you know, we create systems. That's how we do everything, and we automate as much as we can so that it takes us, you know, it takes our attention onto the things that really matter. And so, you know, creating those systems to a point that we can have other people kind of step in and maybe run certain aspects is really like our focus, I would say, for at least the next year or two. Yeah.
Totally. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. It's a great interview, very interesting concept. It was a pleasure having you as my guest. All right, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It
really
was fun.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.